It's election night in Washington. Ballot drop boxes closed about 3 hours ago, and numbers are coming in from all across the state. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I'm Mark Wright.
I'm Joyce Taylor. City council races, car tab fees, the fate of affirmative action will all be decided in this general election. And we have team coverage for you tonight with teams in Pierce, Snohomish, and King counties. We begin with the biggest pocketbook issue on the ballot, and that's the car tab fees. If passed, it would lower the cost of most car tabs to $30 and cut billions in local and state transportation funding.
King 5's Drew Mickelson is covering the Yes on I-976 campaign in Bellevue, backed by anti-tax activist Tim Eyman. Drew, good evening.
Good evening, Mark and Joyce. Tim Eyman says this election was not about him. He says voters clearly wanted to send a message that they are fed up with taxes, especially with anything associated with Sound Transit.
Oh, what the heck? We declare victory. We declare victory.
Called the race just as the initial numbers were being released around 8:30 with his daughter Riley at his side, surrounded by about 20 supporters. If the numbers hold, car tabs would be capped at $30 a year. For some car owners, especially those around Seattle, there have been fees in the hundreds of dollars a year recently, thanks to tax increases, especially the 2016 Sound Transit 3 measure. State budget experts say if the initiative passes, billions of tax dollars will be eliminated for road construction projects and public transportation expansion plans like light rail. Eyman says voters were misled by Sound Transit in 2016, and the sticker shock caused voters across the state tonight to fight back.
Honesty won. Voters want it to be honest, and I think they believed that we were correct, that it was a dishonest tax. So I think honesty won at the ballot box because the voters finally had a chance to be able to go, enough with the dishonest tax, let's bring in something that's actually honest.
Eyman expects this initiative to end up in the courtroom, and if that happens, Attorney General Bob Ferguson, a longtime critic of Eyman's, would be Eyman's attorney. The Attorney General has to defend any initiative passed by the people. Tim Eyman called that ironic, saying it's something delicious that he is looking forward to. Live in Bellevue, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
I guess I step back and look at it. I mean, I don't have any kids that go to public schools, right? They're older, right? But I gladly pay the property tax to help pay for schools in Tacoma, right? So if you're a motorist trying to get up to Seattle, because most people that live in Pierce County go to King County to get their jobs, having people that get on the train or get on light rail when that happens, you benefit from that, whether you drive in a single occupancy vehicle or not.
So that is State Representative Jake Fye, chairman of the House Transportation Committee, talking about Initiative 976. The big question tonight, if that passes, how do we pay for the billions of dollars of road improvement projects? King 5's Chris Daniels has a look at the future impacts of today's vote.
Back now with Shasti Conrad, the head of the King County Democrats, and Marco Lowe, political science professor at Seattle University. Looking at these numbers now from I-976, which looks to have a healthy margin tonight. What do you make of these numbers?
I think it's safe to say that some of the Sound Transit sticker shock was in effect. I would also say the low turnout in Pierce and Snohomish County definitely probably kept the more progressive voters at home, and King County's turnout wasn't enough to kind of buoy everything across the state, which is hard to do in all but presidential years.
Agreed, and I think we had hoped that King County would be determinant for the rest of the state, but it speaks to the different experiences that we're having on the western side of the state and the eastern side of the state. So it's unfortunate. We had hoped that it would be no on 976, but it looks like it's going to pass.
And there's going to be all sorts of ramifications on that. Looks like Pierce County voted 2-1 to approve those $30 car tabs. We'll see how the numbers play out over the days to come.
Thank you, Chris. Another ballot measure with statewide implications is Referendum 88. If passed, it would give the go-ahead for the state to implement affirmative action. Right now, 51% of people are rejecting the measure, while 49% approve.
King 5's Sebastian Robertson joins us live now. And Sebastian, this race is really close.
It is, and supporters went home from this party on Capitol Hill cautiously optimistic, as it is too close to call. The substantial numbers won't come till later this week. This is despite the supporters of R88 getting help from some heavy hitters. Earlier this evening, the governor himself, Jay Inslee, stopped by to lend his support. Now, the thing about affirmative action is that it has not been legal. It has been banned in Washington state for 20 years. R88 would support Initiative 1000, and it would reinstate affirmative action when it comes to hiring and when it comes to public universities. Those opposed to it, well, they fear that it'll be different rules for different sets of people, something they say is fundamentally unconstitutional. Jay Inslee, he begs to differ, again, lending his support. Gary Locke, the former governor, also has been very vocal in support of R88. Again, it'll have to wait at least one other day. This race is too close to call. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
Sebastian, thank you. 7 Seattle City Council seats are up for grabs in this election. We begin with the race that drew the most money. District 3 includes Capitol Hill, Madrona, and the Central District. Right now, incumbent Kshama Sawant is trailing her challenger, Egan Orion, 54% to 46%. We have a team at both of their events tonight. Let's go first to Ted Land, who's tracking the Orion campaign tonight. Hi, Ted.
Hi, Mark. Well, Egan gave what sounded like a victory speech earlier tonight. Very celebratory environment at his party this evening as those first numbers came in and everybody cheered. He thanked his opponent for what he called a spirited race. He thanked the crowd there for supporting a political newcomer in this race. So with results still coming in over the coming days, he says he feels very good about those numbers. This is a race that got very heated in recent weeks as Kshama Sawant and her supporters really targeted and hammered away at Orion for a lot of money from Amazon backing his campaign and the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of business money backing his campaign. I asked him about that earlier in the evening. Here's what he told me.
I think that it became a distraction in the final days of the election, and I would love to see Citizens United overturned so that we can limit the money, not eliminate the money, but limit the money from outside groups that come into our elections.
Orion cautioned his supporters that more results will be coming in over the coming days, and he said that some of those late votes tend to skew pretty far left. So this is a race we'll be watching very closely to see how those numbers change. For more on Orion's opponent, let's head over to Natalie Swaby.
Yeah, Ted, at this point, the room is empty, but earlier it was packed with supporters who were pretty quiet as that first batch of numbers came in. But Sawant spent nearly a half hour rallying the crowd. She is seeking a third term, and she talked about topics like rent control, a Green New Deal, and she says she represents working people and doesn't want Seattle to become a playground for the rich. Now, tonight she told supporters she's been in a close Seattle City Council race before, back in 2013 against then incumbent Richard Conlon, and she was able to win. She said that this race is not over and that they're going to have to keep fighting hard.
We have always had to fight hard. So we are going to have to continue to fight hard. We are going to have to make sure that every ballot of otherwise disenfranchised people gets to count. Are we ready to do that?
And the campaign emphasized that these are just the first numbers and that they're going to need continued support and donations as they work to make sure every vote is counted. Live in Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Thank you. So let's check out the rest of the city council races. In District 1, incumbent Lisa Herbold has a slight lead tonight with 51% of the vote. Her challenger Phil Tavel has 49%.
And taking a look at District 2, Tammy Morales, a community organizer, nearly unseated Bruce Harrell back in 2015, facing off against Mark Solomon, crime prevention coordinator with the Seattle Police Department. Morales with 56% of the vote and Solomon 44% at this point.
Let's go to District 4 right now. Alex Peterson has 58% of the vote, while Sean Scott has 42%.
And District 5, the battle between one-term incumbent Deborah Juarez and Ann Davison Sattler, who campaigned criticizing the city's response response to the homeless crisis, Juarez leading 58% of the vote to Davison Sattler's 42%.
Let's go to District 6. Two newcomers. Dan Strauss going up against Heidi Wills. Strauss leads with 53% of the vote. Wills has 47%.
And to District 7, a race that pits former interim police chief Jim Pugil against assistant city attorney Andrew Lewis. This is a battle. Look at how close this is. 50.6% to 49.4%.
In the race for King County Council, District 2 tonight, newcomer Girmay Zahalai is celebrating tonight. He has 57% of the vote. Longtime King County Council member and civil rights icon Larry Gossett has 43%.
I didn't get into this race to run against anyone. I got into this race to build on a legacy of all of those that came before us, all of those who've been putting in work. I'm excited to...
Gossett was elected in 1993 and has never gotten less than 80% of the vote. So a stunner there. And another stunner in Snohomish County tonight, where current Sheriff Ty Trineri conceded to his opponent, Adam Fortney.
As King 5's Eric Wilkinson reports from Everett tonight, it was a huge shock for the sheriff's supporters.
We have literally seen tears of disbelief here tonight. Certainly nobody here at the sheriff's election night party was expecting this. The sheriff actually coming out before the numbers were even made public and conceding defeat. Sheriff Ty Trineri made the controversial move to stop booking nonviolent criminals who were high on heroin into the county jail. Instead, he established a program to help get low-level criminals sober and employed. While the program has seen success, it's frustrated many deputies like Trineri's opponent, Adam Fortney, a longtime Snohomish County deputy. Fortney is a much more law and order candidate who campaigned on frustrated crime victims getting fed up with criminals being put right back out on the street. That is what swung this race.
I think people are frustrated by the opioid crisis. I think they're frustrated with what they see in counties surrounding us, and I think they are tired of inaction. And unfortunately, a change in sheriff isn't going to necessarily fix that.
I can assure to the citizens that I will uphold everything that I've said. So when I've talked about more of an enforcement component to what the sheriff's office is doing, I will absolutely do that. When I talk about opening up the jail for business, I will absolutely do that.
When asked about his future, the sheriff said he would consider staying on with the department and working for the man who just took his job. In Everett, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
We've touched on about a dozen local races, but there are more than 1,000 statewide, and we have most of those on our website, king5.com. So go to our website to find out more. We'll be right back.